Hello, we're here in Carlsbad, California with Dr. Deepak Chopra. We're here for a little interview to talk about the mission of higher education at a time of global change and renewal for the roundtable that is going to take place in Budapest on September the 9th. We're going to ask you a couple of questions, Dr. Chopra. You argue in your work that human beings need to raise their consciousness, not just to have a better, healthier, and happier life, but to create a sustainable world. How do you connect this philosophy with the tool of education to achieve this goal?
Well, I do believe that if there was a critical mass of intentionality to move in the direction of a more peaceful, just, sustainable, healthy, happy world, that we have the creativity, the collective creativity to make that happen. But it does need a different kind of education. Our education right now is mostly information overload. You don't need that. If I need any information right now, I can go to Google, I can check out Wikipedia. I have many resources to get information. What we need right now is an inspired leadership, a new seed, so we can have a new crop. And that inspired leadership has to be at the grassroots level. It has to be a new generation of young people who are asking themselves the most important questions that we can possibly ask in this time of global shift, global chaos, global transformation. All of those things are happening at the same time. I think the pivotal questions are, what kind of world do I want to live in? Okay, what kind of world do I want my children or my grandchildren to live in? Do I have a role in creating that world or helping to create that world? What is that role? What are my unique skills and talents that I can put to that outcome? Do I have any mentors or role models, either in history or mythology or religion, or any archetypes that I can relate to, that I can embody in my own consciousness, so that I can work with other archetypes to make that happen. What is my purpose in this life? What is the contribution I want to make in this life? What kind of relationships do we need to have, which are beyond the old relationships? Can we have a new identity that goes beyond narrow national boundaries, ethnic boundaries, religious boundaries, even global boundaries? Because we have a cosmic identity, if you really understand how the universe came into existence and the mystery of God, then we need to go beyond our narrow boundaries or narrow identities. So if we start to ask the right questions, we'll bring out, the word education means edu, core, to bring out what's already at the core of a human being. And at the core of our collective consciousness is a creative impulse that is waiting to express itself. So I think our education has to be about human potential in all its dimensions, human potential in its creative dimension, human potential in its relational aspect, human potential to maximize our capacity for love and compassion and joy and giving. If we radically shift our education to the unfolding of our potential, we'll see a new world.
So there's a vital difference between instruction, education, and wisdom. Our purpose in GBU is not just to provide instruction or even education, but to open the door to youth to ascend in the ladder of wisdom. What is your recommendation in this regard?
See, as you look historically at the evolution of human civilization, we started as hunter-gatherers. Then we became people that collectively were basically had discovered agriculture, horticulture, and then, you know, as each age was um, transcended but also included, and the following age, moving from hunter-gatherers to agriculture to industry, which made, you know, the whole world undergo a radical transformation. And the sources of wealth shifted from hunter-gatherers. It went to, you know, from hunting to gathering. It went to growing and making use of the soil. From there, it went to including that, but also manufacturing goods, the Industrial Revolution, for which we needed oil, and we needed natural resources, minerals, things that go into making machines. And then we moved into the information age, and suddenly you see that the whole shift in wealth is microchips, you know, which is a piece of dust with information in it. And that's where the world is going with, you know, in Google and Facebook and Twitter and social networks, internet and cell phones and all the modern technology, which is basically an outcome of the age of information. Hopefully, this is transforming already into the age of knowledge, where, you know, instead of having to spend hours and hours searching for something in a library, I can access that in an instant, any amount of information, but also knowledge. I can get a Harvard professor to teach me in Beijing if I want, you know, through this technology that I have. But you're seeing something happening right now which is so subtle and so important, in that through this information technology and the emergence of the age of knowledge, we are seeing the emergence of a new mind. You know, how do you define mind? Mind is an embodied and relational process that regulates the flow of energy and information in the universe, in the ecosystem, in the planet anyway. But now, because we have the capacity to reach each other through social networks, for lack of a better word, we are seeing a new planetary mind that is emerging, which is crossing all kinds of boundaries. We're actually rewiring the planetary mind. Not only is it emerging, but we're rewiring it. And unbeknownst to us, you're seeing revolutions in the Arab world, the Arab Spring. You're seeing a revolution right now in India, as a single crusader is going against corruption non-violently. We are seeing the emergence of a new global mind. This global mind has to move from the age of knowledge to the age of wisdom. So what is the age of wisdom? What's the difference between knowledge and wisdom? Knowledge is information that you can put to some use. The use can be making a nuclear weapon, or biological warfare, or weapons of mass destruction, or the knowledge can be used to bring about a new civilization. When that knowledge is used to bring about a new civilization, which has at its basis a fundamental new theology, for lack of a better word, a new premise, that which is the inseparability of human consciousness, where, you know, Schrödinger said, consciousness is a singular that has no plural. When we totally understand the non-dual nature of our consciousness, and that love and compassion are the essence of that, but also other Platonic values, which is truth, goodness, beauty, harmony, the evolutionary creative impulse of the cosmos, mathematical truth, musical truth, poetic truth. This will bring about an education that will bring about an age of wisdom that will have the chance of healing the planet. Nothing else can happen. So we have to go beyond mere information before a science which is based on a total, lack of emotionality or meaning or purpose, a science that is sterile and looks at the world as independent of us, to see that actually scientific truth, mathematical truth, is not different from poetic, musical, or artistic truth. When we find that, and when we embody those Platonic values deep within our collective psyche, then we'll have an education that will bring about the age of wisdom.
In representation of the Giordano Bruno University, the Giordano Bruno Center for Advanced Studies, Professor Ervin Laszlo, Chancellor of the latter institutions, the Giordano Bruno Board of Trustees, our students, and all the people whose lives you've touched and inspired through your work, we are giving you this diploma. The Giordano Bruno University, dedicated to a new world through new thinking, is privileged to confer, in view of his outstanding contribution toward achieving a deeper understanding of our world and a more evolved ethics and consciousness, the degree of Doctor Honoris Causa upon Dr. Deepak Chopra, signed by Dr. Ervin Laszlo.
It's my great privilege, my great honor to accept this degree and this honor with deep gratitude. Dr. Ervin Laszlo has been a mentor for me for the last several decades, and his idea of creating a university that brings out the wisdom in its students is breathtaking in its scope. He's the one person who has talked about a tipping point in collective consciousness that can transform the world. We are in a new world right now where a new planetary mind is being born, and the age of information, the age of knowledge is transforming, we hope, into the age of wisdom. This is the next phase of our evolution, not survival of the fittest, but survival of the wisest, where through our collective intention, collective compassion, collective creativity, and love in action, we can really create that critical mass for a more peaceful, just, sustainable, healthy, and happy world. So, Dr. Laszlo, the Board of Trustees of the Giordano Bruno University, and the students, and everybody else who is interested in being part of this transition team for a new civilization, I once again accept this honor with deep, deep gratitude. Count me in to do my work as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Chopra.
Thank you very much.